We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Boxingego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Terence, Crawford, and Canelo, baby. You want the baby? I know that. Let me talk about this and what really happened. The second press conference. Oh my goodness. Now, first of all, some people were like, man, Ego, what you think about the second press conference? Canelo pushed him. Canelo pushed him and Bud just walked him down. Bud coming for crowd. I don't care, bro. Listen, I didn't do a video because that was sketch. That's why I didn't do no video. Stop asking me. I'll get to the video when I get to the video. Bro, I ain't gonna front. That look very WWE to me, bro. Diamond Dallas Page, Shawn Michaels, Intercontinental, Sweet Chin Music. That looked very scripted to me, right? So, yeah, I didn't rush and immediately make a video for it because it wasn't worth my time. When you're big money Ego, you gotta pick and choose what's worth your time. So I was spending time with my family, right? Watching movies, eating good. I didn't want to make a video about it because it looked that fake to me. It looked fake. I don't know what they were going for. Here's why. Let me break it down, because in my series, often imitated but never duplicated, what really happened, I gotta let y'all know what really happened. Why did it look fake and scripted? Okay. For me, I've been in boxing too long, right? You're not even doing it right, bro. Let me explain. We're months out from the fight. You did a whole press conference in Saudi Arabia and it went off without a hitch, right? No real excitement or anything. Now, all of a sudden, Canelo and Crawford, they're talking a little bit more spicy. Bud is almost playing the heel. He's playing the villain. And somehow this culminates in the face-off when Dana White's there. So Dana White wasn't in Saudi Arabia. He's probably preparing his UFC stuff. So he couldn't make the trek or whatever to the Saudi Arabia one. So that one was dry, right? Now, all of a sudden, they try to come anew, and it's just a complete 180 from what the other one was. Now, this might be halfway believable to the king of boxing talk if I didn't just see a picture of Terence Bud Crawford and Canelo Alvarez days prior eating dinner together, eating ravioli and shrimp or whatever they were eating, lamb and chicken falafel rice kebab chicken falafel rice or whatever they were eating. I didn't study their place like that, right? So you're eating a feast together and you do a photo op. That was it for me, right? Not only that, you were with Piers Morgan and you're within inches of each other, sitting down, having a whole conversation. And if anything, y'all was getting at Piers Morgan when he said, could y'all hurt me in a street fight? So we don't believe you. You need more people. This push, this whole, oh, Bud walked him down. To me, it was scripted, right? And it's good that TKO is in the boxing under the UFC and WWE umbrella, because that's exactly what it seemed like, WWE, right? And it's kind of a weird way to go, because I'm all for trash talk. Don't get it twisted. You know, Bud was like, I'm gonna make y'all cry. That part was pretty funny. I didn't mind that, right? But when we got to the face off and then you're pushing them, I mean, it just screams like we need to get this buzz up, so let's do something different. Now, earlier on, I was like, I think they're watching my content and responding to it subliminally, but now I know that is the case, right? And that's what happens when you're the best in the business and it's not even close. The stuff I say, people can say, oh, his channel sucks and this guy doesn't know boxing. They all lie and put out these contrived statements, but they all watch me. If I was so dumb and baseless in what I was saying, then nobody would watch me. But they all watch me because I'm the best in the business and it's not even close. And I know I'm that good. I'm great, right? It's like Bruce Lee said, if I tell you how good I am, you will say that I'm boasting. But if I tell you I'm no good, you'll know that I am lying. That is Boxingego. And I know some fans, they're like, man, if you were really the greatest, you don't have to say it. The fans will say it. I'm glad you said that. Shout out to Jay, who left a comment, and he says, quote, they be watching, fam, 100. They address everything you said, bro, real talk. So, yeah, it ain't just me saying it. The fans know. They be watching and copying. This is how I know. Your boy Ego will do content and do videos, and every time I make a critique about something, a genuine critique, I'm not like nitpicking. This is how I truly feel about the product or whatever, right? And then immediately after, there's almost like a direct response where that critique is somehow kind of addressed. For example, the other day, I made a video. Turkey is on wax at the first press conference saying that he's offering a KO bonus, right? And I said, for me, that's kind of foolish, right? Because if you're going to implement KO bonuses for your fights, some people are less likely to be eligible for that. Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, stuff like that. But it doesn't mean in boxing, it doesn't mean that you can't have a great dominant performance. If you lack power, you lack power. This is not the UFC. And I said, I disagree with Turkey. It seems like he's trying to copy the UFC model, and that's not going to fly, and it doesn't directly correlate and cross over in boxing. In the UFC, you could get knocked out, kneed, kicked in the head, punches, strikes, you know what I mean? Different ways to get knocked out. In boxing, a knockout occurs with your fist only. You can't headbutt someone and get a knockout. You can't low blow them, and then that counts as a knockout. It has to be a headshot or a body shot, only done with your fist. You can't kick them and elbow them and that kind of stuff. So I literally said, and the content is still up, I said KO bonus doesn't make sense for boxing. What they should do is a performance bonus. My exact words. Guess what? The very next press conference, Dana White changed the verbiage and he says, we're doing a performance bonus. But that's not what Turkey said initially. He said it was a knockout bonus to encourage people to like go for it in no Tom and Jerry fights. So again, you guys could say whatever. Oh, you're lying. They watch the content, bruh. Because it's every time, or I'll say the first press conference was boring, which it was. Now all of a sudden they're pushing and slapping. Come on, bro. Y'all tell me. I believe there's not that many coincidences in the world. But either way, I thought it was over the top, you know, considering the guys had been next to each other for weeks and stuff. Now all of a sudden they're sworn enemies that can't stand each other. And then Crawford, it felt fake. FAF. You know what I mean? Crawford's like on his Twitter or whatever, social media. Oh, you're going to pay for that weak push. That's not even his character. Like, Crawford has had some real bad bloods before. Jose Benavidez, Hank Lundy. Those felt organic. Canelo has had some genuine bad bloods, right? With Triple G, you know, after the first fight primarily, like mostly in the second fight, because Triple G was saying he's a juice head and he's on steroids, right? So there's bad blood. Caleb Plant, Edgar Berlanga, all these guys definitely got under Canelo's skin. But from what we've seen this whole time from Canelo and Crawford, they're nothing but respectful. Even Crawford said, I respect him as a fighter and an opponent, and he's done this, and I haven't had the big resume names, but he has, so I respect him, blah, blah, blah. Now all of a sudden they're pushing each other. Come on, bro. It felt forced and it felt scripted. I don't know what it is about this fight, but the more they do, the more it feels like a reach, right? You got Dana White and WWE people and all these people involved. Then you're like, oh, let's bring Max Kellerman back. Everything just feels like a gimmick. You know, I'm not into gimmick boxing. Like, let me just throw some money at it and pay for this and try to, like, Chris Eubank and Conor Benn went viral. They were beefing. That seemed like real bad blood. Rightfully so. The two fathers fought. There's a lineage there. Conor Benn's always kind of like hot-headed. Chris Eubank hit him with an A. I have no problem with that because to me, that truly felt organic. You didn't see videos of Conor Benn and Chris Eubank sitting next to each other, like directly next to each other, like we seen Canelo Crawford. So people were like, oh, Ego, where's your reaction? I purposely didn't do a reaction. I got stuff to do. And that looked so like fluke and fraudulent that I didn't really have an immediate reaction. I didn't have to rush the video out. It seemed weak. And again, this fight, it seems forced. The weight class, how they're trying to jog it up and, you know, jog up interest. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it delivers and it's everything that people are saying is going to be. I know I've been very pessimistic, but I have to go off of red flags and what I'm seeing. And I don't feel like great boxing needs to be sold per se, right? You don't have to go above and beyond. All you have to do is just make the match and organically let it play out. David Benavidez, Caleb Plant, beautiful execution. PBC knew the two didn't like each other. All they had to do was really make the match and then get it cracking, right? Versus like, let's say Pacquiao and Barrios. The selling point is more like this is Pacquiao's comeback fight. Barrios is big. He's a champion. Manny Pacquiao, I just want to, I believe, right? He's 46. This is how their PBC, who does a great job of it, this is how they're selling the fight. Comeback fight. Pacquiao didn't look so great in the exhibition. He's at an advanced age. Barrios is bigger. He's a champion. How is it going to play out? Can Manny defy the odds? That's a great storyline. Even the Canelo Crawford, they messed up. Like Jake Paul, right? He and Mike Tyson, that some people said that looked scripted when Tyson slapped him, but they were smart enough to do it the day before the fight. So I'm sure it hiked up interest right before the fight because people were already kind of curious about, Mike Tyson, I'm about to fight Jake Paul. Jake Paul, I'll take on Jake Paul and Logan and all the Paul brothers, right? So people are already kind of curious, and then that slap pushed it over. So it looks like that's what they're trying to manufacture here with Canelo and Crawford. Two guys that seemingly have been on all promotion. And again, this is how I know they watching my content, because I criticize when they're doing the dinner date or whatever and they were next to each other. I personally didn't prefer that. I didn't like it, right? And then conveniently, it's like this is their response. Nope, look, they're not friends anymore. All that friendly stuff, they're pushing each other. It felt forced, bro. It felt forced. And again, you should at least did it like Jake Paul and Mike Tyson close to the fight. You're doing it clear in June. You're pushing each other in June. That ain't gonna last all the way into September. So what are you gonna do? Push him again? You should have saved that. You should have saved that for fight week. Because again, me being in boxing so long, if you do that in fight week, that at least seems a bit more realistic because I know a lot of fighters, right? And fighters really be grumpy. Think about it. You've been away from your wife. You ain't bumping uglies. You can't get no buns. you have disciplined yourself. You're away in the cabin. You can't eat what you want. Sometimes you can't drink water or liquids, and you can't have your favorite junk food. You can't see your kids. You only see your kids in FaceTime. So the fighters really be cranky on fight week, and most fighters are cutting outside of heavyweights. You're cutting weight, so that weight cut be a bit, you know what I mean? So that makes sense for fighters to be irate, even if they were kind of friendly beforehand, because at least you made all these sacrifices. You just ready to fight, so your tempers are flaring. I don't even think Canelo and Crawford really are deep in their camp, and then they're putting on this WWE push, and then Crawford's like laughing and acting like the Joker and like, oh, come on, hold me back. I thought it looked very scripted and very fake. That's why I wasn't in a rush to make videos. Some people are like analyzing, Bud walked him down and Bud has gotten into his head already. I'm not doing that. You know, for real, this fight, I feel like it's gonna disappoint me. And I can't really get too invested, and I'm not seeing any early warning signs that I'm gonna be wrong. And I told you my reads are pretty good. Take it for what it's worth. But it seems like this is just watching Boxingego content, and let's respond to his talking points. He said they were being too friendly. Let's not be friendly. He said they shouldn't do a knockout bonus. You know, here's a performance bonus, just like he said. That's what it feels like, right? Like you're just trying to answer the critics and whatnot. And this is the route you did it, by having them push it and shove each other, when again, they've been right next to each other several times and kept it respectful. You're not deep in fight camp starving from a weight cut. So why all this animosity right now? You know what I mean? Months before the fight. That's another huge reason why it seems scripted. Deuces. Live streaming can be tough, which is why I use StreamYard. Click the link in the description for StreamYard, which is an awesome tool that enables you to set up your stream with ease of use. Get great results with live streaming. It's what I use. Stream to social media with ease with StreamYard. Live streaming is here to stay. Engage with your audience using StreamYard. Great way to reach out to your audience and connect. So you need a tool that can do that. If you're new to YouTube and you're struggling to get views, one tool I can provide to you is TubeBuddy. I've been on YouTube over 10 years. I use TubeBuddy daily to crank out videos just like this one that you're watching. Learn how the pros do it with TubeBuddy. YouTube receives a lot of traffic, which also means a lot of creators, a lot of people putting out content. So you need to learn the ropes so you know how to separate yourself, especially if you're new. But even if you're a pro, use TubeBuddy. The link is in the description. Get more views, more subscribers, and a higher click-through rate, so ultimately you can realize all of your online goals. Use my affiliate link in the description and grow your channel fast.